Yo, hope you all had a happy new year and hope we all have a great 2018. It's been a hectic couple of days for me, had a lot going on. I'm frankly still a little tired from all of it, but I think the best way to kind of get my mind off it is to do yet another video on something I'm passionate about, which is more kind of unmade episodes from the Hooniverse. In this case, once again, the Sarah Jane Adventures. There are actually a ton of episodes. I mean, not just episodes that sadly never got made due to the death of Elizabeth Sladen, but also episodes that just fell through the cracks, where they didn't get made because they were too similar to another story idea. Maybe they got kind of eventually picked up for other stories later on, or whether they just came up with better ideas. I don't know, but there are a ton of them if you go onto Wikipedia and look them up. So I picked out from the Sarah Jane Adventures, I think, the top 5 for me unmade episodes. Well, at least these were the ones that were supposedly unmade from Series 4. The ones that were unmade from Series 5 and Series 6 that never got to be made due to her death, those I think I've already covered. Well, one set at least. So these are supposedly under Series 4, which kind of indicates that they were considered, but then eventually thrown out for like better ideas, or because they didn't have enough time, or because of other reasons. So yeah, I've whittled down what I think are my top 5. They're not necessarily the best, but they're episodes that I think would have been interesting to see. Anyway, the fifth unmade Sarah Jane Adventures episode that I think would have been interesting to see, Trinity Wells Investigates. This episode would have reintroduced a character that we'd actually seen quite a lot in Doctor Who, although you might not comment on her that much. Trinity Wells, a character who would often pop up as a news reporter. Yeah, so she's basically a news reporter and a journalist, and the episode supposedly would have shown Trinity coming to Ealing and doing a series of investigations, all of which surrounded Sarah Jane Smith, which may have pulled up what she did. Which, it kind of sounds like it would have been an interesting episode. So, Sarah Jane trying to deal with another journalist and how deep she was willing to go to protect what she did. I think it would have been interesting to see. At number 4, The Time of Rani. Not to be confused with the 7th Doctor story, Time and the Rani. This one would have supposedly involved Rani Chandra being abducted by the Doctor's old Time Lady enemy, the Rani. She would have then have set a clone of Rani Chandra at least, through into the town and then set about her plan to take over the world by replacing everyone with clones. Yeah. I think it's one of those episodes that kind of sounds like it could be cool. I mean, they did have ideas they sadly never got to fulfill with what to do with another classic character, Ace. And I think once again, seeing the Rani return within the Hooniverse, that would have been interesting to see. I mean, apparently they did consider bringing in Rani. They did leak a red herring when they were filming the 2014 Doctor Who episode Dark Water, like random allocated systems interface or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, the thing of the Rani back in, it would have been interesting to see. Anyway, at number 3, Countdown. This one would have supposedly involved a group of aliens known as the Riders, kind of disguised like a motorcycle gang, coming to London and basically setting Banman Road up to be destroyed with a bomb. They then would have kidnapped Sarah Jane and all of her team, and would have taken them away, getting ready for the street to be blown up. To which it would have been down to the Doctor and his friends Amy and Rory to stop the bomb and get everybody home. Yeah, which Yeah, the episode would have also shown part of Barrowman Road being destroyed, the rest being saved, and would have supposedly also shown the return of Maria Jackson and her dad. Which, once again, it sounds something that's suitably epic. I mean, they did have another story that involved the 11th Doctor kind of later on in the series that I might talk about another time. That sounds like it would have been good. But, yeah, it sounds like it would have been a really big episode. Kind of Bannerman Road being partially destroyed, the return of kind of fan favourites, as well as kind of somebody else from the bigger universe. Yeah, it sounds like it would have been a suitably big story. But, yeah, sadly it never got made. But it seems fun to think about. Anyway, at my number 2 spot is an episode that probably doesn't sound the best, but to me it sounds suitably humorous. It was an episode called Time Team. The setup at least would have been that students from the Parkvale High School or whatever, they would have, while at an archaeological site, they would have discovered Sarah Jane's distinctive Nissan Figaro, which had supposedly been buried for the past 2,000 years. This sounds to me like it would have been great fun just to see and figure out how it got there or what's happening. It sounds like it would have been really fun. It's kind of fun and ridiculous, but also quite tense from the sound of it. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun story to think about. And the number 1 I've put here on my list is the Unmade Sarah Jane Adventures episode, Supermarket Sweep. You could tell, evidently, that somebody on the Doctor Who, on the Whoniverse writing stuff, is a fan of Die Hard. I mean, apparently this idea went between the Sarah Jane Adventures and Torchwood, but it was ultimately never made for either of them. The story would have supposedly had an alien that's taken over the tannoy system of an empty supermarket, and would have supposedly focused on Luke and K9 combating the threat, with Luke going solo like the action movie Die Hard. At least that's how it was described for both shows. So yeah, you can definitely tell somebody there like Die Hard, which I personally have never seen it, but I've got a good idea of it, and I think it sounds like it would have been a really good episode to see. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I mean, there are a load more great episodes that I sadly can't talk about here, but I might talk about in a later video. But yeah, they had so many kind of good ones, but you know what we ended up with, it's a good enough series as is. It's a really good series, and sadly it was brought to a close far before its time. But you know what? That just gives us more time to speculate on what might have happened, what could have happened. Could we have gotten something else? You know what? That's pretty fun to think about. Anyway, until next time. See ya.